Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark, Ryan Clark versus RG3, Meg Thee Stallion versus Tory Lanez, and P. Diddy versus the world. Those are our topics tonight. So y'all already know how I like to do. I want to dive right in. We get right to it. But before I do, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm because it's going to help the type of people who like my type of content to subscribe and want to tune in. But before I do that, listen, I gotta pay homage. Dog. First and foremost, this live stream is sponsored by yours truly. Yours truly. But also, I gotta show y'all the new drip that I got today. Shout out to Lone Wolf. First of all, let's give a big shout out to Lone Wolf. You feel me? Check the drip. You feel me? I gotta do a stand up. You feel me? Check the Lone Wolf drip. You feel me? Check the Lone Wolf. Check the back. Check the back. Hold up. Let me move my chair for a minute. Check the back. Check the back. You feel me? Hey, we tapped in for the night. You hear me? We tapped in. But I want to go ahead and get into it. But shout out to your boy Lone Wolf. Hey, link is in the description right now if you want to go and get you a shirt. They got jeans, they got hoodies, they got all that good stuff. So go and check it out. Link is in the description. So I want to go ahead and dive into the first topic of tonight, man. And boy, it's a tough one. But before we get to the meats and bones of everything, I want to dive into what's really been popping out here. Casanat and the Streamer University, dog. They've been running up some numbers. They've been doing great things over there. But what I've been hearing and all the topics that I've been hearing and watching, a lot of people aren't really that fond of what's going on because it seems as if a lot of students aren't taking the shit serious. A lot of the streamers aren't taking it serious. They just think they just did it just to have fun. So, but I'm not going to get into that part. I'm not going to get into the drama part. I'm going to get into the part where what it's supposed to look like. And shout out to Agent 00, who's actually giving real game for live streamers on how they can level up and how they can grow, how they can make money, how they can get brand deals and all those different things. So we're not going to spend much time on it. We just going to watch it and so y'all can understand and see what I'm saying. All right, so let's go ahead and get it. Let's go ahead and dive into it right now so I can just stop being in the chatter box. Let's dive into it. Let's get ahead.
I'm not bullshit. I'm about to say because it's a generous small leprechaun that pay for everybody tuition, bro. Yeah, no, you don't want to bullshit, bro. No. You don't want to bullshit.
I ain't even have financial aid. You know, Donald Trump. You know, they canceled.
They did? Oh shit! Damn.
So Cosmo only hope.
Okay, well, hey, we gotta get this class started. Just here, man. Welcome to Pocket Watching 101. Today we're learning how to watch pockets, man. It's pretty simple. By the end of this class, you should be able to look at the person beside you and have an exact estimate on how much money they make as a content creator.
And mind you, before the video continues to keep going, listen, if you are interested in live streaming, if you are interested in trying to grow your platform, if you are interested in any of that or just being a content creator overall, because don't have no shame in your game. Don't let nobody else tell you, oh, you don't mean shit because you are live streaming. Don't pay attention to that. But if you want to get a little piece of the game, pay attention.
It's not hard. All the information is publicly accessible. You just need the framework. So we're going to do some exercises to help you guys get right so that everybody can become a professional pocket watcher. Okay? I'm going to give you an example of a rough month I had where I lost a lot of money and then a good month I had where I made a lot of money, just to give you an idea of what my pockets look like so you could better watch other people's pockets. Okay? Only reason I'm really showing this is because, like, as you make more money, there's some people that actually just pocket the difference, but I'm a content creator. I've been a content creator since I was 12. I like to be able to do cool shit. So you don't get a chance to do that unless you start generating real revenue. In the months where I generate more revenue, I do cooler shit. In the months where it's a little bit slower, I had to slow it down. It's a business at the end of the day. You can't run out of money. Otherwise, you had to sell your house. If there's a company I like, I DM them. I DM Cinnabon 4 days ago. I DM Popeyes last month. I did a deal with them last week. So I just reach out. So this was a rough month for me, January, in terms of revenue. Chat, you know this. We had the weight loss marathon this month. It was expensive, bro. The house rental alone was $80,000. It was another $80,000 on top of the rest expenses just for that marathon. I had to lose 25 pounds in 10 days.
Creators, you no longer need to wait for brand deals,
A viral moment.
or for someone to say yes.
I gained all the weight back. But it was great content, though. It was fantastic content, and that's all that mattered. And there was the rest of the expenses during the month. The different segments that you do. Anytime you need to rent something, buy something, move something, transport something, flights you're booking for people, the team that you have, the payroll. It's a business, bro. So there's going to be a lot of expenses, and it tallied up to $350,000, my nigga. It's a lot, bro.
Was any of that a write-off?
All of it is write-off. Every business expense is write-off. This whole thing, yeah. My personal expense is not in this because that would be personal revenue split. It's okay to spend money on idea, even if you think it's not going to make money. The reason why this was such a loser for us in terms of profit was because January has notoriously bad ads. And we didn't anticipate it was going to be that bad. If we do this in December, the weight loss marathon would have been very profitable. Companies don't pay for a lot of ads in the quarter one. January, February, March.
So listen, this is free game, y'all. This is free game. This is free game. Pay attention. These are the little. Now, of course, let me set the precedent by saying this. Right out the gate, you probably don't need to focus so heavily on getting brand deals because the important thing is visibility. You want to get out there. You want to get in front of as many people as you possibly can. That means that's through Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube. You want to get in front of as many people as you possibly can. So one of the biggest things that guys like Agent talk about, when you create your content on Twitch, YouTube, you want to clip those videos up and you want to post them onto Instagram and TikTok. Now, because TikTok is so big right now, a lot of people are growing faster and they're growing exponentially fast on TikTok versus Instagram because it's a different beast over there in Instagram. But you can do it. If that's just what you prefer, stick with Instagram and master that. But then there's a lot of people that's making a lot of money. And also there's a lot of people that's, they're really growing fast over on TikTok. So take advantage of that as well. But don't focus so heavily on the brands and all that early on. Focus on just getting visibility.
So what you want to do is, so essentially you're still going to make content. You're not going to not make content in those months. But I didn't realize how big of a difference it was going to be. And at the time, I think some niggas pull ads from Twitch. It was just a bad time for ads. And so I lost maybe like $100,000 on that. And I wasn't able to make the money back in the rest of the month, which is okay, marathon, because I had.
All right, so I skipped a little bit. Listen, because I want to go through this fast. All right, so Pete. So they do it through Twitch, right? So what you need on Twitch in order to even start getting ad revenue, if it serves me correct, if my memory serves me correctly, you need 50 followers. You need, I want to say you have to stream 7 days a week. Maybe I'm not sure if that's a part of the criteria, but I know for sure you got to have 50 subscribers. 50 followers for sure before you can start getting become part of the affiliate program. They start giving you ads and shit on your page while you're on your live stream. So if you ain't on my Twitch, go and follow it right now. Get me to 50 so we can start monetizing that. We at 8. So go and get me there now because we live on Twitch too. And it's the same as every other tag, Courtnee Edgar Show. So go and follow me on Twitch too.
300-hour stream. I really want y'all to focus in on this though. This is why I'm saying ads are really underrated. Do you see this purple section here? Those are ads.
Look at that.
If I remove the ads, my budget is
look, let me go back real quick. Let me see if y'all can see that. $4,105 from straight ads on Twitch. From just ads alone, bro. $4,000. That's on a Friday. That's on a Friday, bro. That's on a Friday, man. That's on a Friday. And then he made $595 from gifted subs. That means that's for people that's inside that's just gifting him shit just because they rock with him. What? And then if you look at the other thing, so I'm not sure. Somebody, y'all have to put me on with whatever for those Twitch people who master Twitch. Y'all got to put me on what the turbo is. But $1,000 from the turbo, $391 from Prime subs, and then $762 from paid subs. So I'm pretty sure what that sound like is he kind of paid for that. So I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes you gotta pay. You gotta pay. You gotta do what you gotta do.
I remove the ads. My budget is eviscerated. So I'm saying it's underrated because it's the main way I get to do cool stuff. It also helps convert subscribers because niggas want to subscribe if there's lots of ads. But I wouldn't recommend that because the main priority for small streamers is discovery. As you grow, I would recommend it more and more. But I really, truly believe it, bro. Like without ads, and you can see this split here. I pulled it up on purpose. Like on an average day in January, this is a marathon. So I was live the whole day. Keep in mind, there's ads playing the entire day, $4,000. And that's a bad day?
I beg your pardon?
A bad day? $4,000 as a bad day just from live streaming? And y'all, and a lot of people, are y'all scared to fucking go live? Y'all scared to live stream, bro? Y'all scared to get out here and show y'all face and do what it is? These cats making real bread. I don't care what nobody say. You can have your own opinion. You can look down on people that do live streams. What y'all talking about? There's money there, fam. It is money there. Y'all bugging.
20,000, 25,000. In the months where you are buying more, advertisers are spending more. Black Fridays, Thanksgivings, Christmases. That season hits hard. Summertime, people going on vacation. So this was Twitch, and this is what YouTube looked like in a little bit more of an optimized month.
Look at that. Look at this, bro. Look at this, bro. What do you mean? Look, bro. Look at this. Look at this. Look at his estimated revenue, fam. That's over the course of a month, bro. The course of a month. $84,000. $84,000. Now, of course, you know you gotta account for taxes and all that shit too. But still, though, just for turning on your camera and talking about whatever it is that you talk about, you get $84,000. What are we talking about right now, fam? What are we talking about? It's money.
And keep in mind, like, these are just clips from the.
You feel me? Look at that. Look at this. $84,000 in the month of April. Sir, what are we talking about?
Stream, bro. So if we take a look, also, I nailed it on brand deals. We had a lot of mega brand deals that month. And so the overall revenue was fantastic.
Look at that. Look at that. Brand deals. $310,000. Total revenue, $795,000. So he profited. So again, like I said, you got to account for taxes and expenses and everything, right? So he broke it down for you. So you got brand deals, $310,000. Total revenue, $795,000. Total expenses, $512,000. And then you got a profit. You walk away with $282,000. $282,000 from live streaming. Shit. You think I'm all right? Keep playing with me.
Even though we spent $500,000, we still made money. You get what I'm saying? So I spent $500, but I made $800. So that's a winner for us. You want to win more than you lose because that's how you stay in business.
Thanks.
But if you lose, it's not the end of the world.
Thanks.
And I really want to say, like, now you have $282,000. What's your next big idea?
Thanks.
You get what I'm saying? That's what money does. Like, what's your next big idea? Like Streamer University, boom. Like, you guys all, I imagine, are creatives. Like you.
I'm gonna stop it right there. I'm gonna stop it right there. I'm gonna stop it right there. Shout out to goddamn Casanat, bro. Fam, this shit is wild. It is, bro. It is fucking insane to me. I mean, you gotta look at it this way. Look, just bear with me on this, y'all. Bear with me on this. Look at it this way. You can make a ton of money just strictly live streaming, man. A ton of money live streaming. A ton. All you gotta do, be consistent, learn while you grow. Don't worry about being a perfectionist right now, bro. You get better over time, fam. You get better over time. Start putting your content out there, bro. In due time, you're going to get to where you're trying to go. But the focus is just getting the content out there. The proof is in the pudding. The money is there. There's money there. There's money to be made in this shit. You just got to be willing to put yourself out there and go and get it. That's crazy to me, fam. That's crazy. You feel me? That's crazy. Man, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm, bro. It's going to help the algorithm reach the type of people that like my type of content, man. So listen, it's time. It's time to go ahead and pivot over to one of the meat and potatoes of tonight, bro. One of the meat and potatoes of tonight. Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, Ryan Clark, RG3. There's this whole beef going on just based off of a foul. There's people hating. There's people hating on other people who critique a black woman, people who critique a white woman, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of hate going on across the board. And so we going to get into it and we going to have a discussion and we going to talk about it. All right? So make sure you like, comment, subscribe for the algorithm. Let's go ahead and get into it, my dog. Excuse me.
Welcome to the pivot. I mean, a little bit ago, we started some different things, having pivotal conversations. I never thought that a transition into me having to have one by myself, about me, about things that I've said, and about things that have affected not only me, but others. Obviously, the talk of the week has been the back and forth between myself and RG3. All of it started over an Angel Reese take that he felt was a sports take that I didn't feel that way about. I felt it was away from the court. I felt that
first, let's go ahead and put it out there. This is the problem when you start to feel like something. When you feel a way, everything starts to go downhill when you start to feel a certain way. I just want to say that.
It was away from basketball. And because of the personal feelings I have about RG3, I took a take that was personal to another person and made it personal to myself. And I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have brought his wife into an equation, even though in my mind, before speaking about her, I processed as much as I possibly could to speak of her in a way that was positive, trying to make sure it only illustrated a point about the way that he approached Angel Reese. And in that, in some ways, and to some people, I probably missed the mark.
You definitely did.
I have a lot of experience with RG3. I know some things about him personally. I'm not going to say that we are close. I'm not going to say that we are friends. But those things already imprinted in my mind, those feelings, already things that have developed over our experiences together, over some things that he said to me, done to me, probably some things I've said to him, they played a part in how I felt. Now, he's done some things.
So, hold on for a second. Wait one goddamn minute. So, this man's personal take on a sport You feel some type of way about it simply because y'all had a prior beef. Y'all had a prior beef. Y'all don't like each other because, you know, for whatever reason, y'all don't like each other. And because he spoke on another black woman, you felt it was in your right. You felt it was in your right, Mr. Ryan Clark. And this is all due respect. This is all due respect. You felt in your emotional mind that he was attacking the black women, and you felt that it was necessary for you to go and then try to call out his wife, or you don't know what conversations he's having with his wife. Make that make sense to me, fam. This is what the red pill community talks about. A lot of men operating in their femininity. Because I feel a certain way. I feel like he said this and he did this. Instead of just operating in your masculine and just taking it for what it is and looking at it from just a sports commentary's perspective. Not your personal opinions, not what y'all had, not the beef y'all had going on. Just the personal, keep the shit out of it. Let him have his opinion on the take. Because again, if you go back and look at that clip, now, let me set the precedent by saying this. I said this already before. Do I think his take on the fact that that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark? I don't necessarily agree with that. But speaking in it from a sports perspective, one of the reasons that Caitlin Clark did fire her is two reasons. If y'all didn't catch it, the first reason, the initial reason, was because Angel Reese pushed her teammate to get the rebound. Go back and look at the clip. Angel Reese already playing dirty, so she pushed her teammate in the back to get the rebound. Ref didn't call it. So Angel Reese got the rebound, decided to go back up with it, and then, of course, just like any other player would do, you're going to give them a hard foul because it ain't no easy buckets. So it's going to be a hard foul. And mind you, Angel Reese flopped. That wasn't just a hard foul. She flopped. So she played on it. She played on it a little bit. But then she wanted to jump up and act like she was ready to fight somebody. Angel Reese, you ain't finna do shit. Sit your fucking ass down.
Things that I haven't commented on.
What up?
Because I didn't want
Yes, sir.
or need to attack him. And in this case, I wanted to defend a young black woman, which ended up being an attack on him. He felt, or at least he said, an attack on his family. And that was never the case or never the intent of mine. When I look back at this, I think a larger thing that has now happened is people who love and people who know me have now had to come to my defense because they know my heart, they know my actions, they know the intent of my words. By bringing in, maybe, I can't speak for these people, by speaking about RG's wife, it's now brought my family into the equation, brought Bianca into the equation, brought my children, Jordan, Logan, Jaden, into the equation. I certainly didn't want them to have to be sort of the casualties of my Twitter or my media wars. Bianca, in particular, has taken a lot of heat, has taken a lot of hate. All she's ever done is give her life to her family.
Okay, let me speak on that. Real quick. Can we be candid? Here? Mr. Ryan Clark, what you don't understand is when you decided to speak on RG3's wife, regardless of whatever their intent was, did you not consider the fact that you also have a biracial child? Did you not consider that? Before you decided to think, you know what, I'm going to cape for the black woman. I'm going to be Captain Saving black chick. When nobody was looking at it from a race perspective at all. Nobody was looking at that as this is a Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. This is a black and white thing. No, it's a sport thing. You made it a black and white thing by talking about what the black woman goes through and how the black woman has overcome all of this hoorah, woe is me shit. But now, because you decide, because this ain't your first time caping, big dog. We already done seen that before. This ain't your first time caping. But so now you starting to get more and more pushback. Now you got people coming to your defense, which is cool. That means you got a community. That's great. That's all. That's a wonderful thing. And I respect you too. Like, I think you dope. But there are certain things that you do that I just don't agree with. And then the fact that you spoke on RG3's wife, knowing the fact that you got a biracial child by a white woman. What was your purpose? Your intent. You made it about race. RG3 did it. You did. So you brought this upon yourself. You brought this up on your family. You should have just kept it basketball. And just, if you were gonna disagree with the fact that Angel Reese hating Caitlin Clark was a bad take, that's cool. And you should have left it there. But because you decided to take it further, you decided to take it outside of basketball, and you made it about race, it became a problem. So it is what it be, big dog. It is what it be.
He's ever done is make sure all of our kids, yes, that includes Jaden and Jordan and Logan, had the best home life, the most present mother, the best provider, the best support system that they possibly could. And then after that, after taking care of that family for decades of her life, she's now moved on into getting a degree, getting a master's, starting a PhD program, and now working to counsel and take care of others. I don't think she deserves, she does not deserve the hate that she got because of me.
I agree. I think it's despicable for people to go and tag the daughter, because leave them out of it. I agree with you on that. I wish a lot of people would leave people's personal shit out of it. You got to leave people. If you don't like a certain person, that's cool. But y'all got to learn to leave people's If somebody does not want to bring up anybody in, if nobody brings them up, that doesn't mean that it's y'all responsibility to then go and bring up the other people. I agree with that. Stick to the person who is talking, the person who said it, stick on them. Don't go and attack anybody in the family. I'm a big advocate of, hey, you can say whatever the fuck you want about me, but don't ever talk about my family. You can say whatever you want to say about me. You can call me a coon. You can call me whatever you want to call Uncle Tom. I don't care, bro, because y'all, that shit don't mean nothing to me. Keep the family out of it, though. Keep the ones closer to me out of it. Keep my friends out of it. Keep everybody that's in my circle out of it. They didn't say nothing. So I'm the one who said it. So therefore, if you're going to come for me, come for me. Don't come for them.
To her, to my children, I am sorry. I have to start to think about how my words impact, who they impact, and the effect of the fallout on you guys. So that leads me to Greta Griffin. Let me say this before getting into reasoning, before getting into thought process. She should not have been brought up in me trying to make a point about how having Black women close to you and the things that you learn from them can help you in the way that you approach and speak to and about them. She didn't need to be the illustration of that. I could speak positively about what they are without making the insinuation that it's something that non-Black women don't do well. I'm doing the exact same thing, or it may have seemed that I did the exact same thing to her that I'm trying to keep people from doing to Black women. My thought process was, in seeing certain clips on my algorithm, on my timeline, they do a podcast together. In that podcast, they talk very openly about not being Black enough. They talk very openly about biracial kids, what it's like to not be accepted in the Black community. They very rarely talk about Black women. In the video that RG3 posted that I felt like mocked Angel Reese, she was in the background. Then I love the optics of RG3, a Black man, attacking and imitating, and what I felt insulting, mocking a Black woman as his wife was in the background, almost seemingly as a prop of,
I'm gonna get that.
and this is my feeling, of what was good, amening, nodding along, and applauding what I felt like was a personal attack. I didn't. But that doesn't mean because I have that feeling about what you do to someone else that I can do that to you.
Right.
So to Greta, I was out of line. I was out of bounds. I apologize. To all of the people that don't like RG's take or takes or the way that he moves, or even if you just in this conversation take my side and want to support me, leave his family alone. It doesn't take a daily attack on his wife, on his children, to remind him that you think his take, his takes, or whatever it is the wrong thing to you. Families should be off limits. I started that by bringing her into it. I see that now. No matter what my intent was, the impact was different. If I had to do it all over again, I would do it a different way. And in doing it all over again, instead of pointing to what non-Black women can't do or don't do, or the conversations I don't feel like they can have, I should have pointed to what having a positive Black woman in the household could do. I think back to Alexis Ohanian when he was on our show. He talked about being married to Serena Williams and the things that he has learned through not only the conversations they've had, but through the life they've experienced. He brought us back to childbirth.
Okay, so here's the thing. We gotta understand. I get it. Listen, bro. I'm a black guy. If y'all hadn't noticed yet, I'm a Black man, right? We have gone through our own experiences in life. I'm saying as a collective because every Black people are not a monolith, guys. Black people are not a monolith. Some Black people go through things that are far worse than others. You got some Black individuals, some Black people who grew up in the hood. You got some Black people who grew up in the middle class. You got some Black people who grew up, in a wealthy family. The experiences are different. They are. Black people are not a monolith. I'm gonna say that again. You got a subgroup of Black people who are ratchet ghetto as they possibly can, and they do not speak for the rest of the Black community. They do not. I do not subscribe to the foolery, the ignorance. I do not subscribe to it, and I'm here to tell you that today. And it goes the same with other communities. You got the white community. There's a subgroup of the same subgroup that I placed in that I said about the Black community. You got that same subgroup of people in the white community, in the Hispanic community, in all other communities out there in the world. They have a subgroup. But here's the problem, though. It's highlighted. But here's the bigger thing. It's highlighted because y'all put yourselves out there. I'll give you an example. People made what went viral. There was a video that went viral a couple days ago. And there was these group. I think it was a girls' school or something. These girls were graduating, right? They were graduating. The entire graduating class, and I'm pretty sure their parents, some of their mamas too, because you can see it in the video, were all dancing and twerking across the video. All of them dancing, twerking, doing all of this ratchet shit. But then when people call you out on it, you want to get mad. Sometimes there's a time and a place for everything. Sometimes being ratchet just ain't called for, dog. Sometimes you gotta know how to conduct yourself in a certain place. There's a reason stereotypes exist for all races, bro. None of that shit is a fallacy. They get it from somewhere. So if you want to be taken seriously out here in this world, you need to start conducting yourself as such. No, now I'm not saying that it's gonna 100% change the issue, but it damn sure minimizes it. It minimizes the BS that happens out here in the world. But if you continue to talk about, oh, woe is me, they don't respect us, they want to be like us, this, that, and the third, but then you go out here and do the exact opposite and you prove to them why they treat you in such a way, you can't be mad. You can't be upset about it. Because you are the one that's presenting them with this information. You're the one that's presenting them with the evidence that they already think. But then when another black man goes and holds you accountable, you want to get mad and call him a coon and call him an Uncle Tom and call him every name in the book. Oh, he must have you must got a white wife, or you must got a whatever the case. Or if a black woman holds you accountable, ain't nobody listen to y'all old folks no more. Hey, what do y'all want? Pick a struggle. Pick a struggle. You either want to be taken seriously or you don't. But don't get mad if you decide not to take yourself seriously and people treat you the same way that you treat yourself. Don't get mad at them when they call you out on your BS. Straight up.
Many of us know how high the mortality rates are in this country for Black women. But clearly, that wouldn't extend to Serena Williams. That wouldn't also include one of the world's greatest athletes of all time, but it did. And it taught him a lesson. I feel like those lessons are invaluable in understanding, in feeling, in being empathetic to what Black women go through. Alexis has now become a champion in support of not only Black women, but all women. Alexis has now become one of the leading voices in pushing women to the forefront. He's also become one of the leading voices in understanding the need to protect Black women. See,
protect them from what? Protect them from what? Protect Black women from what? That's the question. We talk about protecting Black women. Protect them from what? Protect them from what? Themselves? Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, protect y'all from yourselves. Y'all are the ones that put yourselves in these predicaments. If you don't want the Black woman to be portrayed a certain way, tell them to behave a certain way. And again, this is not all of them. This is not all of them, because this isn't just a Black woman thing. This is a woman thing, period. This is just a woman thing across the board. So it's not just a Black woman thing. A lot of these motherfuckers is out of pocket, especially these liberal women. They out of pocket today. So again, protect them from what? Themselves? Because if you're talking about protecting them from anybody else, what is everybody else doing to them? Besides holding the mirror up and saying, hey, this is you. What I'm saying about you, this is what you're doing. I'm holding the mirror up so you can understand and see what the hell is going on and what you're doing, so you can fix it. But they don't want to listen because they strong, they powerful. Can't nobody tell them nothing. They the most educated, so they say, but they just the most enrolled. They're promiscuous than ever, more promiscuous than ever. They think that they deserve the world, but then they ain't got nothing to show for it. They think that they are the God's gift to earth, but then they walking around here looking scandalous, looking bummish, looking dusty, being dusty. You got some who got colored hair, rainbow hair. You got some who wearing weave, and you got some who over here just being ratchet overall. And this is all the races. This is not just exclusive to one race. This is all of them. So protect them from what? Can somebody answer that? Can somebody answer that for me? Am I tripping? I know I ain't tripping. I know I'm not. So I don't even know why I asked that question.
It is those conversations, it is those opportunities and experiences that change you. That doesn't mean you can't get them from your mother. Doesn't mean you can't get them from your sister. As a man who is close to his family and has a mom and has a sister, I know we don't speak every day, even if I should be better. I know I don't share with them constantly about what they're going through. But you do know when you have a woman in your household, when you're married, when it's your significant others, those are the conversations you have daily, and those conversations can change you. So it's not about what a non-Black woman can't bring. It's about the clarity. It's about the levity. It's about the level of understanding and conditioning that having a Black woman around can bring. It doesn't mean that that's the way you have to choose.
But you still haven't said what is it that she can bring or help you to understand. Because again, I beg the question, what is it that you're protecting Black women from that they can't protect themselves from? All people, I'm gonna say it again. All the people do is they take a mirror and they put it up to their face and they say, this is you. This is what you're doing. You either change it or you don't. Either way, regardless if you like it or not, you will be judged on it. So make sure you make the proper choice. So again, what are you protecting them from?
You love who you love. And I believe that everybody's created in God's image. But in that person will shape your experiences.
And it's that sort of front row seat to their lives that impacts the way that you move, the way that you react, the way that you act, the way that you behave, the way that you speak.
Nope. I'm sorry. I'm gonna leave it right there because I'm sorry, Ryan. Like you doing too much, big dog. You trying your best to cape for the Black woman, but you have yet to give a solution. You have yet to hold any Black woman accountable. All you're doing is caping for them, and you want to be in a position where I don't know what you're saying, bro. I don't. Maybe I'm slow. Maybe I'm slow in this. Maybe I'm tripping. But I just think you're trying to cape too hard. Stand on what you said. Like, look, I said what I said and just move on, bro. Ain't no reason to try to explain it no more, because if somebody else say some shit about a Black woman, you gonna come to cape again. Because what is there to experience? What experiences can another Black woman bring? And that's a genuine question. I'm not being a dick on this one. That's a genuine question. What experiences? What is it that y'all go through that y'all don't put yourselves in? What rights don't you have? What things are you going through in life that you didn't make the decision on? What position did you put yourself in? Because mind you know what? I'm not even gonna get into it. I'm not even gonna do it. Nope, I'm not. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm. But I want to keep going. I want to keep going though. I want to stick to the same topic, but I want to hear a different perspective from another Black woman. So maybe we might get something. Let's see. Diane says, "Are you married to a Black woman? What does it matter if I am or not?" See, that is the question. Instead of asking me, who am I married to? Just look at me, bro. I'm a black man. So that means I grew up with a black mother and a black father. How about you ask a different question? Who I'm married to has no bearing on how I look at the world or how I look at things. It does not have any bearing. And this is the issue, and this is what I talk about on the regular. No, I'm not gonna answer the question because again, I don't need to answer the question because what are you gonna do? So if whether I tell you if I am, so if I tell you that I am, does that solidify or qualify me to talk the way that I talk, or does it disqualify me? That's the bigger question. What's the point of you answering that question? What's the point of you asking that question, big dog? What's the point of you asking the question? Again, what does it matter? What does it matter? Set the precedent for the question first. Why does it matter if I answer the question or not? Why does it matter who I'm married to or not? What point does it prove? Does it disqualify how I look at it? Does it mean that I'm so far removed? Does it mean that I only look at things from a one side, from a one point of view? It's not a difficult question. It's not a difficult question. But see, understanding why you're asking that question, because I already know why you're asking the question. That's the point. I know why you're asking the question. So it don't matter. So what if I said, so what if I were to say that I was, then what? No. Okay, because no, it's not about me being able to read minds, but I understand when the question is being asked and how it's being asked, you can pretty much gauge why the person is asking the question. So again, what does it matter who I'm married to? What does it matter? What does it matter? So if I'm not black, so basically the reason you're asking that question is if I'm not married to a black woman, then that disqualifies how I look at it, right? That means I can't speak on it, right? All right, so you ain't gonna answer the question. All right, cool. Let's move on. Let's get to the next. Well, we're still on the same topic, but let's hear from a black woman's perspective. Miss Cheryl Swoops on the Gills Arena show. Let's hear what she got to say about it.
Like it has nothing to do with the fact that it had nothing to do with.
Oh, they're documented history.
It's who did it.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you think Angel would have failed? Do you think Angel should be falling?
That's what I was saying.
First of all, I think if anybody fouls Angel like that, she's gonna have that reaction.
Falling?
I
don't think so.
No, she don't jump up like that.
First of all, what are we talking about? See, y'all aren't having the full conversation. First, Angel Reese pushed the teammate first. She pushed old girl in the back. She got the rebound, and then Caitlin Clark fouled her. It was a hard foul. But again, Angel Reese sold it a little bit because she flopped. So it made it look like the foul was a lot harder than what it actually was. So what are we talking about?
She feisty.
Are you saying she flopped a little bit on that?
It had nothing to do with the fact that it was Caitlin. I don't care. No, it wasn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it wasn't.
100%.
No.
Yes.
No.
Her reaction,
A
absolutely.
little bit more too.
So,
No, it added to it. I don't care who would have fouled Angel like that. She's gonna jump up with that.
What about that body slam from Thomas?
Well, she jumped up.
Huh?
She jumped up.
So shoot my free throws. Hey, let me shoot my 2 free throws. So you said since the girl pushed in her chest, she didn't acknowledge her.
Right.
Because she was trying to go get Caitlin.
But she didn't stiff arm Joy and stop you in your track. Like, where the fuck you going? She was still trying. Hey, I was talking to her over there.
Alyssa Thomas foul back.
Alyssa Thomas foul. Yeah, that shit was hard.
It's a new year, Gil. A new season. It's a new W.
I look at it like this. The people who hit the hardest, that's what I said, it reminds me of the Draymond. Foul the shit out of everybody. Soon as they get hit with a little pressure, it's the flop part of it. Yep. And that's what I said. I just thought she was just selling the call to make sure she get a foul.
Exactly.
And I'm like, okay, 2 free throws, cool.
I just think it's such a double standard because that type of shit happens in the NBA all the time. And when it happens in the WNBA, everybody's like, oh my gosh, did you see that?
Yeah.
Well, they don't like each other.
Yeah.
They probably don't. It's a whole lot of players I didn't like. But then you immediately, people, the media, everybody else, you immediately go to social media. You have ignorant ass people like RG3 who decides he gonna go and he got all these things to say.
It was too long for me to read. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I know, but my point is, you're just putting fuel on the fire.
What fuel are you talking about? What fuel are you talking about? The fuel in the fire, what? That it could potentially. I even admitted it. I said that I think that tape was pretty out there when he said that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. I said I don't necessarily agree with that, but it's not far-fetched. It's not far-fetched, but I don't agree. I don't think that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. I don't think that's what it is. I really don't. I don't think it's envious or anything like that because Angel Reese got her own motion, which ain't basketball because boy, she trash. But she ain't got her own motion. She got her own motion when it comes to a social media presence. Because if you try to compare the basketball skills, it ain't the same. Caitlin Clark is eons above her. It ain't even close, right? And we're talking basketball. But when you talk about she got her own motion, that's a social media presence.
Because you already know what people are.
I think saying basically Angel and Reese don't like each other and it's
cool.
apparent.
But so what?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, okay, let's just rewind 2 years ago. No one gave a fuck about what happened in the W.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a fact.
So
I wouldn't say no one.
No, I'm just saying just majority. Not no one. I mean,
yeah, cause man, we gotta. Are we gonna have a real conversation, dog? Are we gonna be honest? Are we gonna be honest? WNBA. Are we gonna be honest for a moment? Wasn't nobody really paying to the WNBA until Caitlin Clark started making noise for real. Even when Candace Parker and them was in there, even when Maya Moore was there, nobody was really watching it like that. And to be quite frank, Asia Wilson made a little bit of noise. Sabrina Ionescu made a little bit of noise. She brought a little. Asia and Ionescu, they brought a little bit more. But after that, it was all Caitlin Clark, bro. And I gotta keep it above. And again, for all of you who like to play the race card, this ain't about black and white. This is talking basketball, fam. Caitlin Clark brought a new style of play to the WNBA, and people are excited about it. What is wrong with that? Let her hold the fucking torch until she can't hold it no more. She brought a different style to the game. She brought a different look. She just so happened to be white. Oh fucking well, bro. It is what it is. Let her hoop out. Let her rock out because the visibility is coming to the WNBA now. More visibility. What is wrong with y'all? And for those of you who try to talk about, oh, well, Angel Reese is dope. No, she ain't. No, she's not. She's trash. She's trash. And I'm talking trash in the sense of when you compare Angel Reese to the other WNBA players, she's trash. She garbage. Real talk. She's garbage. And that does not mean that because NBA players get talked about all the fucking time and nobody bats an eye. Nobody brings up race. Nobody talks about race. It's strictly basketball.
Feel that
crazy.
What's up, guys? My name is Steve Weatherford. Today, I'm getting my very first fitness assessment.
No, I don't want that.
Hey, if this is what is going to get you to watch. I mean, you know, at this point, like you're talking about, like these are topics now, right? If the W needs to sell Angel Reese and Caitlyn as this is why you should watch this game, then
so that brings me to my next
whole nother
situation. That's it, because again, that brings marketing. So even if they don't hate each other, hey, play on it to bring more marketing, to bring more eyes. Because again, when they play against each other, guess what? You're gonna bring more people in, you're gonna bring more fans in, you're gonna bring more eyes and views in, which then drives up the revenue. Right, drives up the revenue. Shit, I can't talk. So why not? Let's see. Thomas Lau says, "Yo, Sambo, masculinity in your voice. Stop sounding like a feminist. Black W, bro. You are suspected, nigga. What the fuck is you talking about? How about you do this? See, this is what I'm gonna start doing. This. If you don't have a profile picture, don't talk to me, bro. If you don't have a profile picture because you scared, you a clown. You don't know how to show your own face, but you want to talk crap. You want to talk noise. Don't say nothing to me, bruh. You ain't got nothing to say to me. You won't even show your face. You a clown, dog. You a clown. You a wuss. You ain't a man, bruh. You worried about you talking about my voice. That's just how I was born, big dog. Don't matter. You scared, you acting like a little girl. You in my comments talking crap about me. You can't even show your face, big dog. What's wrong with you? Who is you? Let's move on, y'all. What's wrong with these goofy ass, broke ass niggas, man?
It is, and it really is. But it's like, I mean, the black and white thing it's easy. It's an easy sell in America.
Does it feel reminiscent of kind of Magic Larry Bird back in the day?
Say that, yeah.
Just in terms of how they're trying to build the rivalry.
I don't know. I wasn't.
Well, you watch Winning Time.
I mean, yeah. I mean, what I'm saying, I wasn't really born in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Quality program.
You know,
I'm saying they face each other in college, a similar situation, face each other in the league. But
I think that's what they're trying to play on.
Yeah. So we
don't have to this year necessarily, right? Like. It's a rival, but it's not really a rival that you can see who gets the best of who because they don't play the same position.
The media wants it to be.
Yes.
Facts.
You know why?
Because
it's the biggest storyline.
It's a big storyline. So run with it.
I know you're trying to move on.
No, I'm not
moving on. If I'm the W, these motherfuckers had 8 games.
So that brings me to the next point. Yeah, the next point. So we asked the chat if it was a flagrant foul or normal foul. 81% of the chat said normal foul. We asked the chat, did Angel Reese flop? 72% of the chat said, yes, Angel Reese did flop. But brings me to my next question. Is the Caitlyn Clark-Angel Reese rivalry good for the WNBA? Like Gil said, it brings in fans that may not have traditionally watched the W, creates some tension.
So obvious.
It's not.
Go ahead.
No.
I was talking about something.
Okay, no, you know. 4-time champ, you tell me what to do.
No, I'm laughing at Kenyon because.
Can you mess in her?
No, she said they don't like the girl. No, she flopped and it wasn't a flagrant. Like,
but they don't. I won't even talk about that play.
Okay.
It's very odd, but it's obvious though.
Separate things.
So they're always gonna go that way.
Do you like? Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
It's true. It's out there.
If she wasn't,
it's out there everywhere.
If she wasn't any good, right?
Mm-hmm.
If she didn't do what she did in college, she didn't make the name she named for herself in college, getting drafted where she did. Double-doubles. Need to work on her game, of course, offensive game, but she still.
Yeah, she need to work on that because the only reason she getting them double-doubles is because Shorty can't make a layup, dog. She can't make a fucking layup. So she get a layup, she get a rebound, she throw that hoe up, get the rebound again, throw that hoe up again, get the rebound, throw that hoe up again. It can't make a layup. That's why she getting these double-doubles. Like, don't try to play with me, bro. Let's see what he says. Thomas Lyles, all you have to do is come to the black community, run your big mouth, bring the same energy. How about again, big dog? See, that's the point. You don't know what you're talking about. You just be talking. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about, bruh. Why I want to come to a dusty ass community? Why? Why would I want to come to your community? How you know I ain't living in a community? How you know? Huh? How you know the people I hang around are in the community, huh? How you know? What makes you think that you know what you talking about, bruh? See, y'all so emotional. You trying to talk, you talking about somebody acting like a feminine. Bruh, you and your feminine. Once you come over here and have that same energy, y'all niggas ready to crash out for what? Because somebody got a difference of opinion than you? Grow up, nigga. How about you do that? How about you do that? How about you grow up? How about you focus on getting to a bag? How about you focus on getting your money up? Because people with money, people who got money, they ain't focused on talking about, well, you need to come to the black community. I bet you won't be saying that. All y'all niggas want to do is fight because y'all ain't got no money. You ain't got nothing to lose. So therefore, you ready to lose. You ready to lose whatever it is that you got because you ain't got it. How about you do that? Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Still talking. Look, hey, y'all. Thomas Lyles, he wants some attention, y'all. He wants some attention. They want to crash out. And see, this is what I'm talking. You know what? Let me go to the big screen. Let me go to the big screen on y'all. See, this is the problem with a lot of y'all black niggas out here today. A lot of y'all. And it ain't all y'all. Mind y'all. Because there's some black people out here in this world. And more black people out here that got common sense that don't think like this Thomas Lyles right here. What's up, Mash Day? Miss Sade, what's up with it? Here's the thing. People who got money, people who focus on getting to a money, people who focus on leveling up and growing and building, they ain't got time to crash out. They ain't worried about what another man think or another man's opinion about them, right? They ain't worried about talking, oh, well, hey, you come to our community, you know, you can't be talking like that. Man, nigga, who is you? Who is you? Who gives a fuck about you? Don't nobody care about you. You think you Mr. Big Bad nigga, you coming onto another man's platform ready to talk shit. You won't even show your motherfucking face. And you want to talk shit to another black man. Because he got a difference of opinion than you. Nigga, you a dusty. You a bum. That's exactly what you are. You is a straight bum. You a clown at best. You ain't got shit going for yourself. All you want to do is be a victim out here in these streets. You don't want to level up. You don't want to become a better version of yourself. You too busy worried about what the white man doing. He holding me back. But yet you the one holding your own self back. Make sure the fries hot, nigga. How about that? Put the fries in the bag, bruh. How about you do that? Make sure my fries is hot. Make sure my burger is fresh, nigga. Make sure my drink is fresh. I want it all hot. How about that? And don't ask for a tip. What's wrong with y'all niggas, man? I'm on one today. I'm on one, nigga. It's the derailment show today.
So it's a solid piece for a team. If she wasn't any good, people wouldn't have anything to say.
Facts, bro. Facts.
I mean, I agree with that.
So it kind of, you can't have it one way and then expect it to be another way, right?
But what do you mean what do you mean?
Like you can't be like you're good and you want the praise and all that shit, right? So people gonna love you. There are people who praise her, who love her, who adore her.
Hey, hold on, Cheryl. I like them threes you got on, Shorty. Them threes looking kind of dope. I like them threes.
So they do that. But on the same token, it comes with it. It's just the day and age that everybody's voice is loud because it's social media, right?
I don't disagree
Everybody
with that
has
at
a platform. Everybody has that. So you have to accept. You don't have to accept it, but it's a part of it, right?
I don't disagree with that at all.
The cheers are never going to be as loud as the boos.
Are you starting a business? Do you need a logo? Design.com offers the world's #1 AI logo.
I'm sorry, Miss Sade. Thank you for the gifts, love.
I don't for her.
Thank you
for
for
her.
the
This
gifts.
period.
Appreciate you.
Just
Appreciate you.
As great as LeBron has been, it's negativity every fucking time this man puts on his fucking jersey.
Yep.
So no matter what he has done in his basketball career, there's still people that fucking dislike him, no matter what he's done, on and off the floor. So it's gonna be the same.
We've all experienced.
So it's gonna be the same thing with Angel Reese. So I just want her to get like, this is what it is. This is a part of your professional athlete now.
Yep.
You're not a child anymore. You're a professional athlete.
Yep.
So you're going to get critiqued on your play.
Yep.
How you look, how you talk, how you who you deal. Just a part of it. It's unfortunate that it's on display, but it's on display because you did something positive. You can't like.
It was the reverse Uno card. The moment she did this right here, she took the bad guy, beat the bad guy, because let's just be honest, before they faced each other, Angel Reese was the antics girl. That was everybody too small, like she was the fun-loving. Caitlin Clark was the bad guy.
Yep.
In whose eyes?
Now, I will say this, before he dive into it, let me say this. During that time, before Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark met, when Caitlin Clark was doing all this shit, I personally say, I said that shit kind of corny, big dog. Like, what is, like, nigga, who you think you are, John Cena? Like, what is that? Like, it was a cocky move. It was cocky as hell. So I don't know if some people may have loved it. I know I wasn't a big fan of that shit. I'm like, I mean, you ain't got no reason to do all of that. You know what I'm saying? All you're doing is just shooting threes, but hey, it is what it is. Do what you do, right? But then everybody made it a huge deal when Angel Reese mocked her by doing this. Now, everybody was going at her saying that, you know, it was classless and all that shit. I'm like, no, it's not. It's just part of the game. She mocking her, you know, like, hey, we just bust our ass. Like, where's all this at? Like, I'm mocking you. So I didn't see anything wrong with that. It's just, it's sport. That's what's gonna happen. Because nobody talks like, nobody says anything when fucking Anthony Edwards up that bitch doing this to Kevin Durant. Nobody was saying that. Nobody was saying anything, right? So I didn't have an issue. With that. And so I think then that's when Angel Reese became the villain. Because let's be honest, nobody really was paying attention to who the fuck Angel Reese was until they beat Caitlin Clark. Let's be honest. And then Caitlin Clark came back and they bust their ass the following year. And then you know how they went into it. Oh, I've been through so much in my life. You know, I did, you know, as a black woman, you know, we go through so much. Nah, big dog. Just last year, you was out there hooping and hollering and talking shit. Don't bring that over here now just because y'all lost. Just take your L like a woman and move on. Get better. You finna go pro. Focus on your game. Real talk.
Everyone's. You remember what she did to South Carolina when the girl was getting ready to shoot and she did one of these?
Eyes?
Huh?
Caitlin Clark's never been the bad guy.
Yeah, she was a bad guy.
Whose eyes?
She was doing this to everybody. She wasn't actually like that.
She was well embraced in the Midwest.
Yeah, she was Midwest, yes, but for media,
No.
I'm trying to tell what I'm watching.
No.
And then when she did this,
the media,
Angel Reese became the bad guy.
The media has never.
Yeah,
I'm
come
talking
for
about
Caitlin,
the people.
But they've never come for Caitlin the way they come for Angel.
No, but they wasn't coming from what I'm telling you. What happened? It was
Caitlin's never been the bad guy.
It was a switcheroonie. Caitlin was the bad guy. She was the one that was fucking with everybody, doing all this, waving, turning her back on everybody. Everybody's like, "Oh, she's a cocky little son."
No, they love that.
Trying to tell you,
they love that.
Did.
Yes, they did.
That national championship game when Angel Reese did this. Angel Reese became the bad guy. Caitlin Clark's never done her move since. She went and became the innocent. She became the innocent girl that don't do nothing wrong.
When Caitlin did that, everybody was like, "Oh my God, did you see what she did?"
When did she do it?
Everybody loved it.
She ain't done it since.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Gil on that one. I don't know what. I think Cheryl Sweet.
Everybody.
I think Cheryl just out there just talking just to be talking. I think she's talking out of her emotions because I don't know. I don't think she knows what she's talking about, big dog. Being honest.
Loved it. As soon as Angel did it,
All right, so I want to show y'all another portion. I want to show y'all another portion where another WNBA player went at Cheryl Swoops. I haven't seen this video yet. So we're watching all of these videos in real time. So I want y'all to see it, and then I'll give my thoughts on it. All right.
With that being said, you big dummies, you getting paid now.
Right.
Everybody now has an opportunity to pull up their chair and have a seat.
For the past year, we've watched Cheryl Swoops target Caitlin Clark with bizarre claims that she's a 25-year-old playing against teenagers, that her rookie season isn't impressive, that nobody wants to play with her. The attacks seemed endless.
Well, some of your peers, they will recognize, her game, but they won't recognize her impact.
Right.
How can you separate the two? It's kind of hard.
I used Jax, you're absolutely right. And I was like, come on, you big dummies.
Then Cheryl Miller stepped into the ring. The basketball legend and former Clark coach just delivered a knockout blow on the All the Smoke podcast, calling Swoops a big dummy and dismantling the false narratives. Miller's putting Swoops in her place, and her defense of Caitlin Clark reveals something.
I'm going to say this. I think that a lot of previous WNBA players are hating on Caitlin Clark. They were hating. And even there are some today that are hating on her. Now, that is not to say that some players aren't going to, they ain't going to rough her up because they want to show her like, hey, welcome to the league. It ain't going to be like that. That's fine. That's part of the game. That happens in the NBA. But I do believe that there are a lot of players and previous players who have retired that hate on Caitlin Clark. I do believe that because of the impact. Fam, do y'all know? Do y'all understand? Shorty is already breaking records in 42 games.
I beg your pardon?
I said Shorty is breaking records in 42 games.
Boy, ain't no fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
That's crazy. So you can look at this two ways. Either Shorty is that good, or the past players were that bad. However you want to look at it is left up to your own opinion. I'm going to leave it there. Let's move on to the video.
Something surprising about the future of the Indiana Fever that has fans buzzing with excitement. Are you ready? Let's go.
3-time player of the year, 2-time national championship, 2-time tournament MVP, first woman to dunk in an organized game, gold medalist. Thank you for making time. Welcome to the show, Cheryl Miller.
Before we break down everything Miller said, have you ever wondered why one of basketball's legends seems so determined to tear down the WNBA's brightest new star? Let's unpack the bizarre crusade Cheryl Swoops has waged against Caitlin Clark from her college days right through her rookie season.
Let's also talk about how much more experience that gives you over other players coming in, right? So people say, dang, like he or she's killing them. But you have a 25-year-old playing against a 20-year-old.
It all started with Swoops making wildly inaccurate claims about Clark's college career. In perhaps her most outrageous statement, Swoops claimed Clark was a 25-year-old playing.
That's crazy.
Against 20-year-olds during her time at Iowa. The reality? Clark was just 22 and playing in her 4th year like countless other college seniors.
Yeah, so yeah, that's roughly around the right time. If you're 22, so yeah, you should be a senior around that time. So I mean, what are you talking about? See what I'm saying though, bro? See what I'm saying? You just throwing shit out there. Throwing shit at the wall and hoping it stick. Just saying shit. Oh, this 25-year-old, where did you even get that kind of information, bro? Sheriff Swoops.
Security. Somebody come get him.
Get out, bro. You just saying shit. I don't want to be. Listen, bro. I try my best. I try my best to not go at people. You know what I'm saying? I do. But sometimes y'all be saying some dumb shit, and you just got to be called out for it. Real talk.
When called out on this falsehood, Swoops backpedaled, suggesting it was just hyperbole related to COVID eligibility rules. A weak excuse that didn't hold water.
Caitlin Clark right now probably takes about 40 shots a game.
40?
Here we go.
I know you like that.
Hell yeah.
I said that because when she comes to the league, regardless of what team she goes to that has vets on that team, she probably ain't gonna get 40 shots a game.
But Swoops was just getting started. She went on to claim that Clark took 40 shots a game, painting her as a selfish volume shooter. The actual number? Clark averaged 22.7 shots per game. What makes this claim particularly ironic is that Swoops herself averaged 19.2 shots per game during her senior.
Boy, ain't no fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
So can somebody tell me, am I tripping? Am I tripping? Am I out of line? Am I out of pocket? Am I thinking unclearly about this? Does that not sound like hate? Does that not sound like Sheriff Swoops is hating on Caitlin Clark? Let's be 100% honest. Am I tripping? Because she sound like she hating. Real talk. Shit's crazy to me, fam. Shit's crazy to me.
Year. Just 3 fewer than Clark. Talk about throwing stones from a glass house. When Clark was closing in on the all-time NCAA scoring record, Swoops shifted tactics, questioning the legitimacy of the achievement by suggesting Clark needed a 5th year to break it.
You asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that player set it.
Okay.
Right? So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record?
This was completely false. Clark shattered the record in 4 years, the same amount of time as other college players. Swoops conveniently ignored that the COVID eligibility rule would have allowed Clark a 5th year, but she chose not to use it. As Clark entered the WNBA, Swoops boldly predicted she wouldn't dominate in the league. But as Clark began breaking rookie assist records and establishing herself as one of the league's premier playmakers, Swoops mysteriously went quiet. The numbers speak for themselves. Clark finished her rookie campaign averaging 19.2 points and a league-leading 8.4 assists per game, silencing the doubters and securing Rookie of the Year honors.
Didn't say she wouldn't be good. What I said was I didn't think Caitlin or Angel would come into the league and dominate immediately, which I don't think either of them did.
Respectfully, there is absolutely no way, even when we're trying to sit here and play semantics about dominating, there's no way that anyone could ever leave this season in saying that both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese didn't dominate. You would have to.
Nah, I can still say Angel Reese wasn't dominating. The way that she be playing, the way that she getting her buckets, almost is like a nigga who scored 40 points, but all of his points mainly came from fucking free throws. Nah, G, that don't mean you a bucket getter. That just means you know how to draw a foul. Now, mind you, yeah, that still counts on the stat sheet as points, but I'm talking about raw bucket. We ain't talking about drawing the foul type shit. We talking about raw bucket 40 points. That's different. To further explain
what dominance means for you to not sit here and say that a player who is leading the league in assists while averaging 19 to 20 points.
These are raw buckets. You know what I'm saying? These are raw buckets. That's a raw stat. Angel Reese stat? Nah, man.
Didn't dominate that season.
Perhaps most telling was Swoops' appearance on Angel Reese's podcast, where she continued undermining Clark while insisting she doesn't dislike her. A classic case of saying one thing while doing another.
I've known Cheryl since she was in college. I helped do her shoe deal with Nike in 1993, took her to her first SBs. I've known Cheryl, I've coached her, have a lot of respect for her. I called her when Caitlin was still playing at Iowa and she had just broken Maravich's record. And it was all over the place, as you and I have discussed, that there was this quote by Cheryl that said, Caitlin was, 25 years old. She was, however old, 24 years old. She was a fifth-year senior. Right. She was taking 40 shots a game. Her records were illegitimate.
The basketball world took notice of this pattern. And eventually, Swoops was removed from broadcasting a Fever game and replaced by Nancy Lieberman, who didn't hesitate to call out the misinformation being spread about the rookie sensation.
I got off the treadmill and I called her as a friend. And I said, you can say whatever you want. You can have your own opinion about anybody, but you do have to get the statistics right. I mean, facts matter. And if you just get ahead of this and just say, hey, I made a mistake on my numbers, then this thing is over and everybody respects you for your opinion. Right. And, you might like Boston. I might like the Yankees. It's okay to have difference of opinions. Well, she got upset with me on the phone. And I was like, Cheryl, I'm not doing anything to hurt you. I'm just sharing. We're talking. And so our relationship pretty much is not happening at this point. I tried to talk to her at the Final Four. She didn't want to talk to me. My life's going to be great with or without Cheryl Swoops in my life.
The basketball world was desperately waiting for someone with credibility to step into the Caitlin Clark conversation. That moment finally arrived when Cheryl Miller walked into the All the Smoke podcast studio and absolutely lit up the critics. What happens when a basketball legend who's actually coached Clark decides she's had enough of the nonsense? You get one of the most authentic defenses we've seen in women's basketball.
Jax, you're absolutely right. And I was like, come on, you big dummies. Is she getting hyped? Yes. But she was in the backyard. She was putting in the same time, sometimes maybe more than you were.
Right.
I can't fault her for what she was given.
Miller didn't just casually support Clark. She came with fire and precision that only someone of her stature could deliver.
Shout out.
Her now viral
to
comment.
My guy Derek. Shout out to the Lone Wolf community. You feel me? Hey, we locked in, big homie. You feel me? We locked in, big dog.
Directed at critics like Swoops.
Listen, y'all go and get y'all a shirt Go and get y'all a shirt today. Lone Wolf, link is in the description. Go show y'all love, bro. I'm telling you, these shirts are dope. They're mad comfortable too. I ain't gonna lie. Mad comfortable, especially being out here in Arizona. Mad comfortable. Matter of fact, let me let y'all see it again. Lone Wolf. Bing, bang, bow. Let me see. So you can see the back. Yes, sir. Go and get it. Lock in. Link is in the description, y'all.
Said everything in just 2 words. Come on, you big dummies. The studio erupted, but Miller was just getting started. She defended Clark's work ethic with the passion of someone who's seen it firsthand. This wasn't just another talking head defending Clark. This was Cheryl Miller, one of the greatest to ever touch a basketball.
This is the Sato knives, quality made, fair priced, 8-piece chef knife set. So let's
directly calling out the hypocrisy that's been swirling around the young star. She pointed out something the haters conveniently ignore.
Look, as much as she was given, you can't tell me if that door would have swung the other way where she didn't live up to the hype.
Right.
Come on, folks are still waiting for her to fall.
Exactly.
Come on.
Yep.
So with that being said, you big dummies, you getting paid now.
It's the uncomfortable truth that Clark's critics don't want to admit. Her presence has elevated the entire league, including the paychecks of those criticizing her.
You recently coached the WNBA All-Star game. You spent some time with Caitlin Clark.
Best coaching job ever.
Best coaching job
Best
ever.
coaching job ever.
Being around Caitlin Clark, how was the experience with her? She's such a big star. I mean, the sky's the limit.
Like, I'm gonna stop it right there. I'm gonna stop it right there because you know what I'm saying, it's we good on that. We good on that. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to keep beating a dead horse on this situation just because I personally don't think that. So my final thoughts on that entire situation. I do not think that it's a hate situation between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. I think that's an angle that a lot of people are playing now. But if you're looking at it from a business perspective, I think it's a great angle to play for a marketing aspect because now you're creating this rivalry between two individuals who came in the league at the same time. You know, one who's fighting to be, you know, a part of that elite group, and then you got the other one who is in the elite group and continually to run up the numbers on the court and showing and proving to everybody why she belongs there and that she is gonna live up to the hype of who she was and who she is. I think it is dope. But to all the haters that's hating on Caitlin Clark, I need y'all to sit the fuck down. I need you to sit the fuck down and just watch greatness. Because what we're seeing right now, and please don't crucify me for this. Give me a little rope here. Give me a little rope. I'm not saying that she's like this person. I'm not saying it. Please don't get it twisted. But what I'm saying is the sentiment in which how she's getting the hate. Now she's getting hate and love on both ends. So I'm not just saying she's getting all hate, but she's getting love and hate. But it's similar to, it may not be on the same level, may not be on the same scale, but if you look at it, this is what is happening. The same type of hate and love that LeBron James was getting when he got into the league is the same type of hate and love that Caitlin Clark is getting in the league today. Angel Reese still has a lot of work to do. I'm not saying that she gonna forever be trash, but as of right now, as we're talking in 2025, May 24th, she is trash. Trash. I can depend on her to hustle. That's all I would be able to depend on her to do is high energy and hustle. I'm not depending on her to give me a bucket. I'm not depending on her to give me a bucket at all. I don't think she's not there yet. I wouldn't even depend on her to give me a bucket in the post. She gonna throw that hoe up 15 times and then make one. And then next thing you know, all she gotta get is a smooth little 10 points from the rebounds and the fouls that she get. And then she gonna have 10 points, 15 rebounds, motherfucking 5 for 25 from the fucking field. So I'm just saying, bro, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. I hope that she continues to thrive and get better, you know, be able to extend her game to the 3-point line, get a handle, and be able to dominate on that elite level. But right now, this ain't the time. She's dominating in the social media world. Cool, that's dope. But I think she needs to focus heavily on becoming one of those elite athletes. You feel me? Become one of those, because if she wants to be taken serious, she's gonna have to take herself seriously on the court and stop worrying about everything else. Real talk. I said what I said. Go argue with your mama. For real though. Go argue with your mama, bro. Like don't come argue with me. Go argue with your mama. Look, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm because it's gonna help the type of people who like my type of content to come and watch it. So make sure you like it because it's free. Make sure you share it because it's free, and hit the notification bell. So, all right, so let's move on to the next topic, bro. I want to move on to this Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion situation, bro, because these hoes ain't loyal. They not. They be lying. You can't trust them all, bro. You can't trust them. So let's get into it. We're on the Piers, listening to it from the Piers Morgan's perspective, and yeah, we about to get into it. And then we'll go into the then we'll go into some more. But hold on, let me get there. Let me get there.
About it. So Sheree Hayes, thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
The rapper Tory Lanez is serving a 10-year jail sentence for shooting and wounding Megan Thee Stallion. Last week, he was stabbed 14 times by another inmate in a California prison, causing both of his lungs to collapse. Many in the rap community and beyond want Lanez to be released. They say he's not safe, but he did.
I gotta ask the question, chat. Let me ask the question. Do y'all think it was a hit? Do you think it was a hit on Tory Lanez? That's one question. Second question is, do you believe that Meg Thee Stallion lied? Or better question. Do you believe that Meg Thee Stallion, if found guilty, should be prosecuted? If she was found, if all the evidence comes to find out that Tory Lanez didn't do it and he gets out of jail, do you think that Meg Thee Stallion should be held accountable? That's a better question. Y'all let me know in the chat.
Didn't get a fair trial. A petition calling on California Governor Gavin Newsom to pardon him was shared by Drake this week and has 340,000 signatures. Well, the case has divided the hip-hop world from the outset, with many of his biggest stars taking opposing sides in a very public feud between Megan Thee Stallion and Lanez. But is there more to this case than a popularity contest linked to a serious crime? Well, joining me now are Sonstar Peterson, Tory Lanez's father, and Republican Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna. Well, welcome to both of you. Mr. Peterson, thank you very much indeed for coming on Uncensored. And first of all, I was, like everyone, very shocked to hear about what happened to Tory in prison. He's sustained a lot of injuries. Can you just start by telling me how he is?
Yes. First of all, Pierce, thank you for having me on. Thank you for having us on. And it's an honor to meet you, sir. Right now, my son is recovering, and we're thankful for that. We thank God for that. This was a very brutal, unprovoked situation.
It was a hit.
And I know that many people like to speculate a lot of things, and when we don't have facts on the internet, people sort of provide their own. And some people, I guess, are well-meaning, but there's just a lot of misinformation that goes out. However, I'm thankful that he is recovering very well at this time, and so we're grateful. We're very thankful for his recovery. Not for the grace of God, my son could have been out of here. So we are very, very thankful right now.
The person who attacked him is, I believe, serving a considerable prison sentence for killing somebody before. Do you believe it was a deliberate attempt to kill your son? And do you have any idea yet, from any information you've gleaned, as to whether what the motivation for that may have been, or whether it's connected at all to the reason why he's in prison to start with?
I don't. I wouldn't want to speculate on what the person's motivation is, because motive comes from deep within somebody's heart, and so I don't have a window to that. However, you know, I wouldn't say that it has.
What up, Janae? What's up with you?
Honestly, sir, I really just can't. I can't speak to the motive. It would be impossible for me to be able to speak to that person's motive.
Now, everybody knows how much I enjoy my tea.
Yeah, nah, we finna watch you plug in your stuff, man. We gonna slide past that big dude.
Flash hits. Have you spoken to your son since? I presume you have, since he was attacked.
Oh yeah. We've spoken on several occasions. My family, we come together and we pray on a daily basis. This has been pretty well 5 years now, almost 5 years since this whole incident ever came to the public's attention. And since that day, we come together sometimes, most times twice a day, wherever we are in the world. We are on a phone call and we pray. And thankfully, a lot of times he is able to join us. He will, call in from the prison tablet, and we're able to come together and we pray. So since the situation happened, my wife and I, we were able to be with him from the very first day that we heard. This incident happened about 6:30 in the morning. And then by the time we were cleared to go in to see him at the hospital, by the time we got in, it was about 1:30 that afternoon. We spent practically the whole afternoon with him. Following day, and then the next day after that, when he was discharged and went back. So yeah, I've been in pretty well constant contact with him.
Before I move on, I just want to ask you, are you 100% convinced that your son did not commit the shooting for which he's serving this sentence?
I'm absolutely convinced. I've always been convinced. And a lot of the evidence.
So are many other people, but we are more than convinced that Tory did not pull the trigger. More than convinced. More than convinced. And a lot of us were saying that when the shit first happened. Been saying that out the gate. He did not do it. He did not do it.
That had been suppressed over the years, a lot of shenanigans that went on in the courtroom are now coming to light. There's been so much foul play, and I'm not just saying this as some sort of pissed off parent. I mean, one of the things, just by way of an example, and I know that our attorneys have spoken to this, they have laid out things line by line. And I want to even take this moment this is the first time I'm meeting Representative Luna face to face. I want to thank you for the masterful job you've done getting out over the last little while, over the last couple of days on your, on your platform so that people can know exactly what happened. But let me tell you from a parental standpoint, a parental observer of my son walking through this. I'll never forget the day when we're sitting outside of the courtroom getting ready for court to reconvene. And imagine the only independent witness, which should have been the only objective witness in this case, was a gentleman by the name of Sean Kelly. Interestingly enough, the only person that would be able to have an unbiased viewpoint of what actually happened. Imagine that the prosecution did not want to call that witness. Why?
I beg your pardon.
Uh-oh. Why is that, huh? Why is that?
This is the only independent witness, but yet you don't want to call this person because obviously his bird's eye.
Listen, let me say something real quick, bro. This has been a year of lying, and more lying. You hear me? More lying, and more goddamn lying. Because you got Meg Thee Stallion, who was out here lying, backtracking on Gayle King's show, talking about, because y'all look, mind you, when Gayle King asked her right out the gate, when she said, hey, were you and Tory Lanez in an intimate relationship? And she said, huh? And then said, no, me and him never had a relationship. Say what now? Y'all never had a relationship. Then to come back to follow up behind that and then say that y'all actually did. So you were lying, shorty. So what actually happened? Oh, so you were mad that Tory Lanez was getting other chicks to bust it open for a real one. He was flirting with other chicks allegedly, right? So you got mad. So then you want to go online and make this huge ass fucking paragraph on was it on X, on one of them, whichever social media platform it was, talking about, I'm over the internet, Tory Lanez is a demon, saying all this egregious shit. But you lying though. But you lied though. You put yourself in that position. And you still and look, I applaud you for doubling down. I applaud you for standing 10 toes, but you lying. You caught up. You caught up, shorty. And your time is about to come. And mind you, you got other situations. You got the shit that happened with Jonathan Majors. You got the shit that happened with fucking our beloved damn, what's his name? Johnny Depp with fucking Amber Heard. Then you got this shit that's going on with Jason Baldoni and Blake Lively. Blake Lively out here thinking she can't be touched, and then you're gonna try to go after Taylor Swift. And you think Taylor Swift gonna associate herself with you after you doing some egregious shit? Ain't nobody believing y'all, bro. And this is the thing that I've been saying. That's why you can't believe everything that women say, because a lot of them be fucking lying. So you gotta take a lot of shit that they say with a grain of salt. And that's not to be disrespectful. That's not to bash women. That's just calling it what the fuck it is. Because a lot of these lying assholes are making it worse for the women who are actual victims out here. Same shit with Cassie. Same shit with Cassie. Trying to play victim, but she had a part in the shit too. That's not to say that Diddy isn't guilty as well, but the fact of the matter is Cassidy ain't the victim. Let's move on.
I view will not support what you want the narrative to be. And so when we sat outside, my wife and I, we saw this gentleman come in and we sat down, and it was identified for us that, oh, this is Mr. Sean Kelly. He's sitting across from us on the other side of the hallway. And as we sat there, the prosecution came out, one of their detectives or investigators rather, and one of the prosecutors, they took this gentleman, they went upstairs, I believe it was to the 14th floor at that time. By the time this man came down, the witness they did not want to call, this man came down and his testimony became so embellished with other nonsense that people who saw it just looked at it and said, this is crazy. So I saw these kind of things going on all throughout this case, people trying to bury evidence, not trying, burying evidence, a judge that refused to allow certain things to come into the courtroom or to be said, and was totally biased on the part of the prosecution. So the whole thing just stunk of a setup.
Of course.
Just one last question, because you made me think of this. But if your son was not responsible for Megan Thee Stallion being shot, we do know that indisputably she was shot. Who shot her?
First of all, the whole idea of her being shot is a speculation. That's a speculation. It's to this point has not been proven.
He said this is speculation.
I beg your pardon.
Oh shit, hold on now.
Proven that she was even shot. And I want to make it really clear
Hold
because
up.
I'm asking
somebody, if my memory serves me correctly, I don't know where I heard this from. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on this, right or wrong on this. Rumor has it, from the rumor that I heard it from, rumor has it that she was never shot in the foot. That it was glass that got onto her foot. Now it was glass. It wasn't an actual gunshot. Somebody check my credibility on that. because I heard it somewhere. I forgot where I heard it from. But is that possibly true, or did she actually get shot? Because I heard two different stories. I heard that she did get shot. Then there's another a story that's saying that it was glass, and she just thought that she did get shot, but she didn't. So just saying.
Ask questions a lot as it regards to Megan. Megan is a young woman. I'm a father. I don't have any animosity to this girl at all. We pray for her. I've said that publicly on several occasions. My son included in our prayers. We have prayed for her on many occasions. So anything that I have to say is not to put her down, make her look like this person or that person. But the reality is that in all of this, how can you have a situation where in pretrial, the police, LAPD, says that the bullet fragments they had collected from the hospital just mysteriously vanishes. It goes missing. I would think that evidence is something that is protected in any police department, but they just mysteriously go missing. So there's no bullet fragments to be presented at trial. You have a situation where a gun is shot, and the gun, which is supposed to be your main piece of evidence, does not even show up at court, but some picture of a weapon that resembles or is the type of weapon they say that was used. The weapon does not show up at court. There is absolutely no, we hear this point of 0.1% of his DNA on the gun. Do you know what that actually means when you investigate it? That over 1.5 billion black people on the planet could have been their DNA. Yet my son is convicted for having used this gun, where an expert witness from the LAPD gets in there and he testifies as an expert of how many pounds of pressure it takes to shoot this gun and to shoot it 1, 2, 3 times and on and on and on. Yet the only evidence you have could fit the profile of 1.5 billion black people on planet Earth.
I beg your pardon.
Hey, he cooking right now. He cooking.
The whole thing stinks of a conspiracy, and it stinks of a cover-up.
Stinks to high hell.
Okay, let me turn to Representative Luna. You've taken up this case, and you've done it at a time when Drake has shared a petition to have Tory Lanez released. Chris Brown posted Free Tory on his Instagram story. Kanye West has supported his release as well. I want to play, before I get your explanation for why you've taken up this case, I want to play, this is a version of events from Megan Thee Stallion herself, from her own documentary about what she says happened.
We left to go home. I was in a car with...
Oh my God. Hold on, fam. Hold on. Let's hold up. First of all, wait a minute. First of all, why y'all got it like this though? Here's my question though. Why y'all got it like this though? This is crazy. Why, first of all, why y'all got it in the bikini? Was she in the bikini? Well, oh my God.
We left to go home. I was in the car with Tory and his driver and Kelsey. We are all arguing. I don't remember exactly what I was saying, but I knew I was talking shit, and he probably was a little offended. I tried to get out the car one time. I'm over.
Why you got this on though? So why the animated guy?
Boy, ain't no fucking way, boy. Why ain't no way, boy?
Why they got her in this? Can somebody explain to me why they got her in this though? or why she got herself in this. Why did she okay this? So you in the car, so you went to a party in a bikini. That's what you, all right. So that's what we're doing? That's what we're doing? All right.
For this shit. They was like, Megan, get back in the car, get back in the car. We almost see a house. I get out the car again. I ain't even got shit on. I just got on a swimsuit.
Okay, all right. So, okay. All right, makes sense. Because I was about to say, I'm glad they clarified that. Because what I was about to say, ain't no way.
I'm walking off, and this motherfucker just started hollering at me. He was like, dance, bitch.
Oh, no, fam. Nah, G. Nah, fam. Nah, fam. Nah, y'all ain't finna play with me in my face like that, dog. This is what we not about to do, bro. Come on, dog.
So very dramatic.
I beg your pardon.
Fam, dog, come on, bro. Nah. Y'all ain't finna play with me in my face. That's what y'all not about to do.
Dramatic sort of recounting there in animated form of what happened. She then talked about it again in an interview with Gayle King on CBS, the morning show there in 2022. Let's take a look at this.
So I get out the car and it's like everything happens so fast. And all I hear is this man screaming. He said, dance, and he started shooting. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like he shot a couple of times. And I was so scared. I didn't even want to move. I didn't want to move too quick. Like, cause I'm like, oh my God, if I take the wrong step, I don't know if he can shoot something that's like super important. I don't know if he could shoot me and kill me. Like,
and the final clip I want to play, this is where in her own documentary, again, she talks about that interview and admits she may not have been entirely truthful. Let's take a look at this.
Yes, bitch, I lied to Gayle King, bitch. First of all, I didn't know that bitch was even.
Boy, ain't no fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Just so y'all can hear it again. Just so y'all can hear it again.
Let's take a look at this.
Yes, bitch, I lied to Gayle King, bitch. First of all, I didn't know that bitch was even gonna ask me about that shit. Bitch, she's always gonna talk.
Let me one more time so y'all can understand, so y'all can hear it just as clear as I did. Just so y'all can hear it just as clear.
And
as
admits she may not have been entirely truthful. Let's take a look at this.
Yes, bitch, I lied to Gayle King, bitch. First of all, I didn't know that bitch was even gonna ask me about that shit. Bitch, she's always gonna talk about this shooting. Why'd you ask me about fucking Tory? That's not what this is about. Even if I was, I fucking once, maybe twice on a drunk night. Bitch, you kept catching me out of my fucking mind.
No, I don't think you need to be a conspiracy theorist, Representative Luna, to see there's a lot of inconsistency going on here. She denied to Gayle King that there was any relationship with Tory. She then admits that there had been, that she lied. She doesn't admit to lying about the circumstances of the shooting, but certainly this goes to the heart of her veracity. Why have you taken up this case?
Well, first of all, Pierce, thank you so much for having us on to discuss this. And I just want to applaud you and your outlet for actually being able to showcase some of the facts here. Look, I don't have any connections to the rap industry, Mr. West, Mr. Brown. The only people that I really know involved in this are Miss Amber Rose, who actually initially flagged this for me and connected me with Tory's attorney. And when I looked at the evidence, and remember, I'm a member of House Oversight and Accountability, and I actually am the chairwoman of the task force that conducts investigations, most notably into the assassination of John F. Kennedy. So I'm all about the facts. And what I can tell you is that the evidence in this case overwhelmingly speaks to the fact that Mr. Lanez is actually being incarcerated, I would say, as an innocent man. And what I can tell you is, even to your question on what happened with who indeed may have pulled the trigger and, allegedly shot Megan Thee Stallion. Look, I don't know Miss Stallion, but what I can tell you is that the evidence says that there are no bullet fragments and that there are x-rays that the legal team, Mr. Lane's team, actually has that we'll be presenting. What I can also tell you is based on the evidence that I've seen, again, that number 0.01% DNA match, alleging that it's Mr. Lane's, when in actuality, they actually did not choose to test the other 4 individuals there. No fingerprints found on the magazine. By any arguable case, if this was a murder trial, he would actually be acquitted because there is no evidence. Right. And so what I will tell you is, one of the things that people ask is, well, why are you getting involved as a federal representative when this is a California state? He's not from, Florida here, or he's not represented by a Florida member of Congress. What purview do you have? And what I will say, Pierce, is that I have a platform and I have the ability on a federal level to impact prison reform. And what I can tell you is everything in this case, I don't believe that he was actually given due process. I believe it was a stacked trial. I believe the evidence speaks for itself. And I am willing to actually cross party lines to work with the Democrats to secure pardon from Governor Newsom's office. And we're currently in the process of setting up talks with Governor Newsom. I do think that he is going to do the right thing. I think that the evidence speaks for itself. I didn't know that Drake had posted that petition, but what I will tell you is that was the right thing for him to do. And I hope more women specifically in the rap community can come forward and speak to this truth, because as you heard from Miss Stallion herself, she admitted to lying to Gayle King. And what I will also tell you is I'm also have been informed that there's actually ring footage, and that will likely also be released here pretty soon. I know we are helping to put the evidence out there to the American people. But I do believe that this is really a terrible case, and what was done to this family is unacceptable. And I will be continuing to push for his full pardon. I think that people owe them an apology. And furthermore, I'd like to finally say this, so that I actually spoke to Mr. Lanez on the phone in prison yesterday, actually. And he is actually going to get very involved in criminal justice reform to ensure that this doesn't happen to other people, because in his case, he has an incredible family supporting him. He has the financial backing to fight this, but many people don't. And so that's where we are going to continue to champion these causes at the federal level, even all the way to the White House and in Washington, D.C. Well, I'd love to talk to him myself. It does sound a fascinating story.
Man, that is what's up, bro. That is shout out to Miss Anna Paulina, bro, doing her thing as she should. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about, family. That is what I'm talking about. That's what it's about. Shout out to Tory Lanez. Free motherfucking Tory Lanez, because these hoes out here lying, and I don't trust Meg Thee Stallion I don't trust Meg Thee Stallion whatsoever. She's trash. I said it. And if you like Meg Thee Stallion, oh well, I feel sorry for you. Stop believing all these women. Stop believing all these women who just cry wolf because they are taken away from the actual victims. Because they don't want to look bad, and they don't want to look bad in the public. Just because they start crying, that don't mean that they telling the truth. Straight up. Listen, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm. It's going to help the type of people that like my type of content to want to watch this type of content. Listen, if you like it, it's free. You share it, it's free. I'm not asking you for money. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. All right, so let's move over to the final topic for tonight. Mr. P. Diddy. So Kid Cudi showed up to the court today and gave his testimony. Let's hear what he had to say about the situation.
happening today. We've been talking about Kid Cudi's testimony, week 2 in general. But right now I want to bring on Elizabeth Milner, our long crime reporter, who is inside that court.
A lot of people were inside that courtroom because a lot of people wanted to know, what did Scott Mescudi, aka Kid Cudi, really have to say. So when he walks inside the courtroom, to your point, Jesse, he was very, very casual. He had on a leather jacket. It was a little bedazzled. He had on a white t-shirt. He had on jeans, something that you kind of really don't see necessarily, especially in federal court. I mean, all the other witnesses have been in suits, even some of the escort witnesses. But for Kid Cudi, he just came in very casual. He just walked right to the witness stand, didn't pay Diddy any type of attention from what I could see of him. But he got onto the witness stand and swore that oath like he normally, like all the other witnesses do. And then that's when we got into the testimony. And let me just say, Jesse, there was so much testimony. I was just writing things down and down and down again, because there was really so much. And we knew about kind of the Molotov cocktail incident, especially because it was laid out in Cassie's federal lawsuit, right? But just hearing Kid Cudi explain it from his own words were just a whole nother level, I could say.
People were laughing, right? People were laughing when he was testifying because he made that one comment that he sees Sean Combs. He had a meeting with him and said he looked like a Marvel supervillain. Were people laughing?
Yeah. Yes, people were laughing, but if you're going to ask if Diddy was laughing, it didn't seem like he found that joke necessarily funny, but there was definitely some courtroom laughter, even from some of the jurors who were in the box. They were laughing as well too, but from what I could see of Diddy, it didn't seem like he had much laughter going on in that specific moment, which was a complete 180 from kind of his demeanor when George Kaplan was testifying, where he seemed a little more jovial. He was laughing along, but when Kid Cudi came on the stand, it felt like the smile just went down, and he had more of a serious demeanor and serious tone listening to Kid Cudi testify.
And because, you know, Kid Cudi was providing some quite important pieces of damning evidence against Sean Combs. I mean, talk to us about his direct examination. What were some of the highlights that you took away from his direct examination? Because the prosecution, in my opinion, I was talking about it before, they're calling him not only to corroborate, I think, the account of Cassie, but to establish some of the elements of racketeering, right? The underlying crimes of maybe kidnapping, arson. Talk to us about some of the big moments from his direct examination, and then we'll talk about what the cross-examination was like.
Right, because the jury has been hearing about Scott Mescudi a lot, and they've been referring to Kid Cudi as Scott Mescudi during this. So seeing Kid Cudi in the flesh, I'm sure a lot of people wanted to know, what did he have to say about December 2011 specifically? Now, around that time frame, police actually responded to Kid Cudi's then home. He's no longer in that home anymore now, but they responded to a call about a break-in at his home. So he said that day actually started with a call from Cassie herself about 5:30, 6:30 in the morning. And Cassie relayed to Kid Cudi that Diddy had found out that the two were dating, and she sounded kind of stressed during this phone call. So what Kid Cudi did was he picked her up. He took her to a hotel called Sunset Marquis. So that way it was a little safe for her to kind of hang out there and be at that hotel. But Kid Cudi at the time said he didn't think that Cassie was even dealing with Diddy at this point. Diddy had asked actually for Kid Cudi's address around this time. And one of the big moments was that Cassie was the one who actually gave Diddy Kid Cudi's address. And so Kid Cudi said he didn't know what Diddy was going to do. Then when he was at the hotel, he actually got a call, or he had spoken to Capricorn Clark, somebody that was Cassie's friend, but also somebody that had worked for Diddy. And so when Kid Cudi was speaking to Capricorn Clark, Capricorn sounded scared on this phone call.
So y'all think Diddy going to jail? Gotta ask the question. Y'all think Diddy going to jail? Or do y'all think he gonna get out?
Pretty much on the verge of tears, because it was Diddy, one of his affiliates, an unnamed person, and Capricorn Clark were at Kid Cudi's home. Kid Cudi was kind of describing that essentially Capricorn Clark was essentially taken by physical force to go with them to Kid Cudi's home while Kid Cudi wasn't even there. So Kid Cudi could verify that Sean Combs, aka Diddy, aka Puff Daddy, whatever we're calling him, was inside his home when he wasn't there. Kid Cudi said that he actually went home after speaking with Capricorn Clark and just kind of rushed over there. Then we see an exhibit photo of the entrance of Kid Cudi's old home. It's the home of the break-in, and you see the front gate door. And he described his neighborhood at the time being as far as being very quiet, family oriented, and they had to kind of mention that he was driving a Porsche around that time. So Kid Cudi actually called Diddy while he was driving home, and there was some profanity here, so bear with me, everyone. He said, "Mother effer, are you in my house?" And Diddy said, "I just want to talk to you. I'm here waiting for you." And surprisingly, Kid Cudi explained that Diddy sounded relatively calm while he was on the phone speaking to him. So Kid Cudi thought his security cameras were working, and turns out he said someone kind of had moved them and angled them a little bit down, so that way I guess whatever was going on wasn't captured on that video. And they had moved them the opposite angle, and said Kid Cudi verified he wasn't the one who moved those security cameras. But when he got home, Jesse, he said gifts were open on the kitchen counter. Stuff was pretty expensive. It was from Chanel. And that his dog, surprisingly, was locked in the bathroom. Now, his dog normally roams around free like a lot of our pets normally do. I mean, my cats right now are probably wandering around. I would never lock them inside the bathroom while I'm out of home or anything like that. So I can understand why that really stood out to him as far as his dog being inside the bathroom with the door closed. But he had that dog for about a 2-year period, and noticed that after this break-in had happened, that his dog became jittery and was always on edge at the time. So Kid Cudi got back into his car, he says, and called Diddy because he wanted to fight Diddy. He wanted to square up essentially and just find him and fight him because
I wanted to say, "Hey, you came and touched my crib, bro. Like, hey, it's time to squabble up, big dog. Let's go with it. Let's go with it."
Believed that Diddy broke into his home. And so he said after this phone call, he thought about the reality of the situation and what more could possibly escalate from that situation. So what he ended up doing is he just called the police. And when he had returned home, because remember, he was driving around looking for Diddy, essentially wanting to fight him, he says. And when he returned home, the police were there at his home. He filed a report, and then he was speaking with Cassie about the situation. And Cassie seemed pretty depressed about the situation, according to Kid Cudi while he was on the stand. And then he had said, because this is in...
Be the CFO you've always dreamed of with your company's travel spend under control.
This was around December.
Yeah, fam. Listen, y'all. I don't know if he gonna get out, bro. For real. I don't know. I can't say.
Of 2011, and we know that shortly after that, Kid Cudi had spent the holidays with Cassie over at her family's home in Connecticut, and then they broke up shortly after. But the thing is, a few weeks later, January 9th of 2016, again, a few weeks after his break-in, his car caught on fire, or not even caught on fire. A Molotov cocktail was lodged into the driver's side of his car, of his Porsche, mind you. And we saw a lot of exhibit photos from that Molotov cocktail being inside, or not being inside that car, but we saw the aftermath of the Molotov cocktail in the car. So we saw an exhibit photo of the damaged car. You could see a cut at the top of the roof from the Molotov cocktail. The roof was blown out. Kid Cudi had said his friend Chip, who is one of his best friends, took.
Damn, boy. Did I hit putting hits on people, bro? He out here doing what? I don't know, y'all. I don't know.
Those photos because he had got a call from his dog sitter at the time that essentially his car was on fire. So he had rushed back home to see what happened. Lo and behold, this entire incident happened. So we saw more exhibit photos of the burned driver's side door, some smoke damage. Again, the hole of the roof, damage to the driver's side car, burned seats. He said when he arrived home, he did see the damage to his car, and he saw the Molotov cocktail. He saw that burnt bottle on the ground right next to the outside of his car. So he said police were actually there when he had arrived home, and his car wasn't even able to be repaired after this fire. And so they had said that this cocktail was in the driver's seat, and his reaction, to your point, Jesse, earlier about him just being so casual while he was on the stand and his one-liners. Well, his one-liner for his reaction about a Molotov cocktail being lodged into his car was, "What the F?" And obviously I can't say what the F means, but we all know kind of from that. But as far as just the aftermath of it, there was this whole meeting at Soho House where essentially Diddy and Kid Cudi shook hands. Kid Cudi said that he didn't necessarily believe Diddy when Diddy had said, Kid Cudi had said something along the lines of,
Let me skip ahead a little bit.
And by the way, having Kid Cudi, a star of that I don't know how much the jury actually knows about Kid Cudi, but having him testify, that's compelling for the prosecution. Although I will tell you, I thought it was interesting what the defense was trying to do with him under cross-examination. What were some of the highlights of cross-examination? I believe it was being conducted by Brian Steele, who, as we know, no stranger to high-profile people in the music industry. He famously represented Young Thug in his trial.
Well, another time we could actually see Brian Steele in action, because so far we've only seen him cross-examine one other witness, and that being Officer Israel Flores, one of the first witnesses called in this trial. But we really got to see Brian Steele once again in action, and he has just such a different tone from some of the other defense attorneys. He's not very flashy or very showy, and I don't mean that in a bad way or anything like that. He's really just straight to the point. It doesn't seem like when he's cross-examining a witness, it's because he wants a reaction from the audience, and the audience being the gallery or any of the jurors. He really just kind of wants to get straight to the point with the cross-examination. And so what he was getting to under cross was that there were fingerprints taken. There was DNA collected. However, this DNA came back to a female, according to the defense. However, there was an objection. That objection was sustained, so that part will be kind of struck. And then he was kind of essentially gearing this a little bit more towards Cassie. Brian Steele had said something along the lines of, Cassie played you, and Kid Cudi responded, yes. Brian Steele was asking Kid Cudi about his music career and how popular he was, especially around that time frame. And, around that time frame, I was still in high school, but Kid Cudi was so huge around that time frame. So I think what the defense was trying to do was possibly allude that maybe it was a deranged fan who had did this, and it wasn't necessarily Brian Steele's client at the time, or client now, that being Diddy. But then Brian Steele was kind of trying to be like, oh, you did drugs with Cassie. And Kid Cudi was like, well, we smoked some weed. And I think the defense was trying to also get in Cassie's sexual history as well, too, whether or not Kid Cudi and Cassie were intimate.
If you're here in Phoenix, right now we have an offer going on where we can get you a brand new, super efficient.
However, they kept on having sidebars during this moment. And as we all know, with the sidebars, there's a lot of static noise. So we don't know what they're talking about. They kind of huddle off into a corner. They kind of go through, I guess, the arguments. The jury's still inside that courtroom, but us in the gallery and the jurors even too, we hear this just loud static noise. So I'm not sure kind of what the bottom or what they got to as far as the bottom of just this sidebar. But Brian Steele was just essentially kind of trying to paint it as that Cassie essentially played Kid Cudi. And so
of course he did.
When Brian Steele was cross-examining Kid Cudi just about whether or not Cassie had told Kid Cudi about sexual abuse, and Kid Cudi responded she never did. Kid Cudi surprisingly said that he was in love with Cassie.
Right.
He also said that he never saw Diddy hit her, and Diddy never interrupted.
I'm confused. I'm so confused right now, bro. Was he in love with Cassie? I thought he was on the other side. I thought he was a part of that community, part of the alphabet community. Am I tripping? Can somebody tell me? Because I think I'm tripping. I think I'm bugging. Am I tripping? Somebody let me know in the chat, bro. Because I could have sworn. But I could be wrong.
Cassie and Kid Cudi when they were together. And so far from what I could see, even of the jurors, kind of while they were while Brian Steele was cross-examining Kid Cudi, the jury seemed very engaged with this testimony. I mean, they're always engaged, but you could really tell that they were super engaged about this, probably especially after seeing those exhibit photos. Then we kind of get into the Soho House meeting, and that was the meeting where Kid Cudi, Cassie, and Diddy himself all got together. They all kind of just hashed everything out, and that was surprisingly the last time Kid Cudi had seen Cassie. And so Brian Steele was asking Kid Cudi, she was living two different lives, and Kid Cudi responded yes. And so then they kind of ended the cross-examination as far as Cassie was the one who gave Mr. Combs your address, and Kid Cudi responded yes. So those were some of the biggest highlights of the cross-examination. Obviously, I took a whole bunch of notes so I could really get into the weeds of it, but I know for time and everything like that, I can't say everything right now.
well, you do provide such incredible detail, and we appreciate it because there are no cameras in there, but I know you have to head back into court. Look, it seemed to me that they were really trying to assassinate Cassandra.
All right, so that's some good info. That's some good info. That's some solid info. You feel me? Listen, bro, that shit was dope, but I don't know. I can't really say whether he gonna get out or what, but I know for sure, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to say the least. Listen, man, I appreciate y'all for tapping in with your boy. Thank y'all for locking in with me. For those of you who came, it was dope. Make sure y'all bring some more people on the next run. We will be doing a panel on Tuesday night at 9 p.m. So make sure you bring your friends, your family, and all y'all, because we gonna have some dope topics. Listen, thank y'all. Listen, we gotta get to 1K subscribers, bro. We gotta get monetized. And the goal is to get monetized before August. So we're in May. That's 3 months. We should be able to do that with the ease. We're trying to get monetized. We need 1,000 before August. All right? Y'all feeling me? So look, make sure you like, comment, subscribe for the algorithm, man. And until next time, man, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.